In today's episode, we explore Mount Koya, and in particular, Shingon Esoteric Buddhism. My name's Naomi, and I'm going to be the narrator of our pilgrimage to this ancient mountain. Ike here is the philosopher, and will be giving us some background info about the rituals and beliefs that are associated with Shingon Esoteric Buddhism. And Amber is the historian, and will help us understand the history behind this ancient religion.
And we're adventuring in Japan!
We started our journey by taking a train ride. A long train ride through twisted and winding tracks. Into a craggy and foggy forest, where we would find Shingon Esoteric Buddhism and begin our journey of enlightenment and understanding of this old and ancient religion. Before we go any further, some of you may be wondering, what exactly is Shingon Esoteric Buddhism? How did it come to be? Well, here's a short video recap about the history of Shingon Esoteric Buddhism.
Shingon Esoteric Buddhism was established by Kukai, known posthumously as Kobodaishi, at the beginning of the 9th century during the Heian period. It's known as Mikkyo in Japan, or secret teaching. Esoteric Buddhism is practiced all across East and Southeast Asia. Kukai was a Japanese Buddhist who felt led to the Mahavairocana Sutra by a dream that told him that it was there that he would find the answers he sought. However, the sutra was only available in archaic Chinese and Sanskrit, so he went to China in order to better understand its teachings. Before he left, he studied an esoteric mantra of the Bodhisattva Kokuzo Bosatsu, meant to improve memory, that he perfected after 8 years of practice. In China, he studied under the monk Huiguo, who is known for creating a cohesive religion out of scattered bits of Indian and Chinese esoteric Buddhism. When Kukai arrived, Huiguo was nearing the end of his life and had to transfer to Kukai all of his knowledge in a very short time. Huiguo knew that esoteric Buddhism would die out in China and India, and knew that its continuation would need to happen in Japan, so he worked tirelessly to train Kukai. Kukai's study was meant to take 20 years, but in only 3 months he was taught everything about the mandala of the two realms, was able to master Sanskrit as well as Chinese, and was able to receive the final initiation into esoteric Buddhism. Kukai credited his mastery over Kokuzo Bosatsu's mantra as the reason he was able to learn everything so quickly and efficiently. Only 40 years after Huiguo's death, Buddhism faced intense persecution from the ruling government, and esoteric sects were forced to merge with other sects in order to survive. Buddhism in China never fully recovered from this, and esoteric Buddhism largely died out there. After the passing of Huiguo, Kukai returned to Japan and formally codified all he had learned from his master. Kukai and his teachings reached prominence among the nobility when, during an attempted rebellion that would reseat the emperor, he asked permission of the emperor to perform rituals meant to ensure success. Due to the success of the reigning emperor, Kukai was granted permission to establish his own monastery in Mount Koya in 819 with the permission of Emperor Saga. This monastery is still used by Shingon Buddhists today. He intended for his Mount Koya retreat to be representation of the mandala of the two realms. The Japanese emperor at the time, Emperor Juna, declared Toji in Kyoto an exclusively esoteric temple where rituals and rites were performed for the governing powers and officially recognizing Shingon as a legitimate religion. During the Heian period, Shingon grew considerably and was particularly favored among the nobility, including the Fujiwara clan. Towards the end of his life, Kukai stopped eating and drinking and instead spent most of his time in deep meditation. When he finally passed away on March 21, 835, he was entombed at his monastery in Mount Koya rather than cremated. However, according to legend, Kukai is not dead, but has rather entered a state of deep meditation while he waits for the coming of the future Buddha. Every day, monks from the monastery bring him food, although only the monks highest in rank there are allowed to see him. Since the founding of Koya-san, the rituals and heart of the religion remain the same, but there have been many physical changes. For example, there are now only 117 temples in Koya-san, although there used to be many more. Also, in 1872, women were finally allowed to enter the sacred area of Koya-san, where they had previously been prohibited.
When we arrived in Mount Koya, we were greeted with beautiful mountain scenery, flowing rivers. It was a little bit chilly, actually. Thankfully, we had remembered to bring coats. When we arrived at Echo Inn, the place we were staying for the night, we were greeted by a wonderful monk who helped show us around. Hi, this is Naomi. We're here at our room, so I'm going to show you guys around. So we actually have a really big room here. It has a really beautiful view. I'll show you guys that in just a little bit. As you can see, it's based in a traditional temple. However, we do have a TV with internet as well as heating and cooling. Here we have a little tea table for some tea if we want it. We also have 2 tokunamas, toku for short. They have scrolls, as you can see, as well as traditional pots. And here we have a kotatsu in order to keep us warm, so that'll be really nice tonight because it's a little bit chilly here. The walls here are all really thin, which is traditional in Japanese architecture, which is really cool. And over here we have our coat hangers, and that's our room. Here's the view I said I would show you guys outside of our room. We have a little beautiful Japanese garden, so that'll be really nice just to kind of sit out here and chill. So it's dinner time now, and we're about to begin eating. So here's our food. It's all vegetarian, since the Buddhist precepts prohibit against them eating meat. All the food here is based upon Sobo cooking, which is kind of Buddhist mental training. All the food here looks really good. Tofu is the main course, so let's eat!
Itadakimasu.
After dinner, we decided to take a quick look at Okano Inn, the largest Buddhist cemetery in Japan. There are water purification wells all around the entrance to Okano Inn, also called sukubai. We made sure to ritually purify our hands and our mouths before entering such a holy site. As we explore Okano Inn Cemetery, Ike is going to give us some background info about Shingon esoteric beliefs and practices. Here he is!
The Shingon Buddhist priests of Koya-san spend their time devoted to attaining enlightenment, Buddhahood. The Shingon worldview is based on the idea that Buddhahood can be achieved in this current life through the cultivation of Buddha nature. We can accumulate Buddha nature by obeying the 10 precepts and living in harmony with the 3 mysteries. If you didn't already know, the precepts are: I will not harm life, I will not steal, I will not commit adultery, I will not tell a lie, I will not exaggerate, I will not speak abusively, I will not equivocate, I will not be greedy, I will not be hateful, and I will not lose sight of the truth. And the 3 mysteries are right action, right thought, and right speech. Another important Shingon practice is ajikan, meditation on the Sanskrit letter A, a symbol which can be found on the Goshuin of Shingon temples. Shingon Buddhism is all about iconography. In addition to the letter A, Shingon temples are always dotted with statues of important Buddhist figures. Statues of Shaka Nyorai, the historical Buddhist Siddhartha Gautama, may be easily recognizable. Following Shaka Nyorai's example, Shingon Buddhists view meditation as a necessary condition for the attainment of enlightenment. Another important figure is Jizo Bosatsu. His appearance is that of a monk, and he is revered as the guardian of travelers, infants, and children. When a young child dies, the Sanskrit letter Ka, from Jizo-sama's Sanskrit name Kshitigarbha Bodhisattva, is placed on the memorial tablet. This symbolizes the child's protection in subsequent Buddhahood. Statues of Jizo-sama are all over Japan. Dainichi Nyorai, depicted as a crowned Buddha presenting the Samadhi Mudra, is the primary deity of Shingon Buddhism. Mahavairakana Buddha, as he is also known, is the ultimate enlightened being.
Our initial impressions of the cemetery was that of a mysterious, secret location. While we couldn't see much in the night, we looked forward to seeing it in the daytime, and so we decided to go take a long bath in the onsen, which is not pictured for obvious reasons, and then head to bed. In the morning, we awoke to a spectacular breakfast, again vegetarian. After breakfast, we headed over to the main temple, where we would participate in the morning ceremonies and the Goma fire ritual. Whoa, slow down. Morning ceremonies? Fire rituals? What is this stuff? Let's have Ike explain a little bit of the history behind it.
One extremely important ritual for Shingon Buddhist priests is the Goma fire ritual. We actually got to see this ritual in person at Koya-san. Performed every morning at Shingon temples, the Goma ritual is meant to destroy negative thoughts and desires, providing blessings in their place. At Ekoin, a Koya-san temple, Shingon laymen and non-Shingon visitors alike are encouraged to write their wishes on a wooden board to be burned in the next morning's Goma ritual. During the ritual, one priest chants while another keeps rhythm on a taiko. This ritual exemplifies all three of the mysteries: right action through carefully choreographed movements and service to those attending the ritual, right thought via the destruction of negative desires, and right speech through mantra recitation. One more Shingon practice is the ancestral memorial service. While priests chant mantras, visitors are encouraged to burn a pinch of incense and pray for their family members who have passed away. Here's a little glimpse into our experience with that ritual.
After the morning rituals, we decided to go back to the cemetery and have a second look. After over an hour of walking, we finally made it to the center of the cemetery. Although we were not able to take video or photos inside, this is what the surrounding area of the cemetery looks like. Here was the mausoleum where Kukai was laid to rest. Legend has it that almost 500 years after his death, somebody opened up the tomb and actually found Kukai alive in eternal meditation. The man who found him was so startled when he saw Kukai alive. His hair had grown out long, even his nose hairs had grown all the way down to the floor. He made sure to trim up Kukai, he gave him some food, and since then, nobody has entered. After revisiting the cemetery, we decided to go explore around Koya-san some more. We were able to visit some of the main temples, and also got to see some really interesting shrines. Overall, we had an amazing experience at Mount Koya. As we took the trolley down the mountain, we thought about what we had learned about Shingon esoteric Buddhism. If anybody is wondering where to travel in Japan, we would definitely recommend a visit to Mount Koya.